PowerPoint is a game engine. And I say that because of this one feature that lets me teleport to any slide I want in my presentation, which is all I need to make a whole fucking game. But why use PowerPoint to make a game? Because it's the only software this potato PC can handle without exploding. The secret is this powerful feature called actions. Using this, I can turn any shape into a button and jump to any slide I want. So now, if I click this square, it teleports to the next slide. Very cool. Now people have already used this to make cute little quiz and other games like Don't Touch the Red or You Die. But I want to make something better, like a rhythm game. Yup, let's make a rhythm game. Rhythm games need music. And I don't know if you guys know this, but PowerPoint does allow you to add music into presentations from right here. But before we do that, let's figure out the game mechanics. A rhythm game is all about timing. Shiny things move across the screen and you hit them before they reach the judgment line. To make the notes, I want to use a rectangle and duplicate it. The big question is, how do we make these notes move from here to here? Maybe animations will work. That is the wrong animation. Do you see the vision? Alright, we use animations to move the notes and then using actions, jump to the next slide where there's another note moving. And this is where everything breaks. The animation isn't playing. You see, animations don't automatically play when you switch slides, which is a huge problem because without this, making a rhythm game is literally impossible. Then how do we make animations play without clicking every single time? That's where the animation panel comes in. This thing is like a timeline. It shows the order and duration of every animation on the slide. Oh, I right-clicked on one of the animations and there's an option called Start with Previous. The number next to the animation changed from 1 to 0. That should mean it will play on its own. Let's try it out. There comes our first note and click. Hell yeah, it works. Alright, the game mechanics seems to work well. I want to work on the visuals next. For a rhythm game, we are gonna need 4 things. Notes, a judgment line before which you have to hit the notes, lanes, and something that doesn't look like a blank slide. So I threw these together. Let's bring them into PowerPoint. While working with all these images, I encountered another issue. Whenever I try to select a note, it keeps selecting the wrong thing. I wish there was a way to lock layers. And this is exactly why it's a game engine. Also, we can align images to the slides from here. Let's scale it down to make it fit inside the lane and move every note inside each lane. I think I'm gonna move the judgment line a little down. Can we control the opacity of these images? Transparency might help. Every time I think PowerPoint can't do something, it quietly proves me wrong. Is there anything else we are missing? Music. The goal is to find something which isn't fast, but also energetic. And non-copyrighted. This part is really important. But even after scrolling for hours, I couldn't find the right track. I went through a bunch of genres like chiptune and J-pop, but everything was either way too fast or sounded like stock music. And then I found... Yep, this is it. Let's add it into our presentation. I want the music to play throughout the presentation. How do I do that? Play in the background. Yes, please. Now it keeps playing in the background, even if we switch slides. There is one more problem though. Clicking on notes while they are moving is really hard. Should we switch to mouse over action? Now the slide changes the moment my cursor touches the note. To make it a little easier, we can show the upcoming note in a different lane, so the player isn't left guessing and can actually react. Bring it down, and this is where the animation for this note ends. Before we jump to the next slide, where it has to continue from this position. And here's where PowerPoint fights back. If I use line animation again on the next slide, yeah, it doesn't work. We need an animation where we can control the exact position of the note. That's when I found the line animation. This is exactly what I want. The line animation has this easing effect where it slows down before reaching its final position. Not great for a fast-paced rhythm game, but how do I turn it off? Effect options, turn down, smooth start and smooth end. Much better. Let's also add a morph transition effect on our slide. Alright, moment of truth. Okay, yeah, that's way too slow. How about we crank up the animation speed to, let's say, 0.01 seconds? And now it's better. Let's go over what we need to do to make one slide. First, we duplicate the slide. Get rid of the old note. Then use the line animation to move the note. And use the flying animation on a new note to place it halfway. And we keep doing this until we map the entire song. This is gonna take a long time. I have completed 15 slides till now and realized that rather than having the notes finish at the judgment line, it should end a little above it. This way, the player will have a better chance to react. Now I'll have to update all 15 slides one by one. I think I have mapped about 30 seconds of the song and we are at 68 slides. This is where I'm calling it quits. I was not expecting it to be so tiring and honestly I just don't want to do this anymore. But we do have the rhythm game working. The game works, but we are forgetting about one thing. What happens if the player misses a note? The game over state. Implementing game states involves coding, but I can't just type code into PowerPoint. We need to find another way to tackle this problem. Oh, I have an idea. Let's duplicate this slide. Remove everything and turn it into a game over screen. The text can have a fancy animation. This one looks good. And maybe a little zoom in to make it look extra cool. Now we go back to the first slide and place a rectangle. This rectangle will have a mouse over action that instantly jumps to the game over slide. We don't want it triggering immediately, so I made it invisible and set it to appear only after all the note animations finish. Get it? If you hit the notes, the slide changes before the rectangle ever shows up. But if you don't, the rectangle appears, your cursor touches it, and game over. Let's scale up the rectangle to fit the entire slide and make it transparent so it is invisible. Perfect. Now all that's left is copying this rectangle to every single slide. Let's get to work. Alright, 68 slides later, we officially have a game over state. If we have a game over slide, wouldn't we also need a game win slide? For the last note, instead of jumping to the next gameplay slide, we jump to a brand new slide. This one's the victory screen, which will have a big game win text. It can have a wave animation. And if the player actually manages to hit every single note and reach this slide, yeah, they beat a rhythm game made in PowerPoint. So was this worth it? Absolutely not. I mapped 30 seconds of music across 68 slides, manually aligned rectangles and fought PowerPoint every step of the way. But did it work? Somehow, yeah. And that's the scary part. Because PowerPoint is a game manager.